On to you, Capricorns. You Capricorns have the Hermit, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. You Capricorns may have been kind of in the dark about certain things, or maybe you played woefully or willingly blind to certain elements about yourself. But the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups represents you're not playing blind to that anymore, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. You Capricorns may have realized something about yourself that you sometimes, especially when you first like the person, that first impression may end up sticking with you to such a degree you end up giving someone way more of a chance than you originally thought. And the thing about it is that the Three of Pentacles and the Chariot is all about how, so you Capricorns understand now that it has to be a good mix of the two. A first impression is very good, and it is very important to a certain extent. Because especially nowadays, what's the one thing that we all have to learn in order for us to succeed? Not just because something looks a particular kind of way does not necessarily mean that it's not a robot. So the Three of Pentacles and the Chariot is about, so a lot of you Capricorns are learning that, or you have learned that the hard way through trial and error. And now you understand that you're looking now more for substance. Yet again, you're still looking for that, but now you understand a little bit nuance to it. You understand that just because a person particularly looks decent, you still have to date them to actually find out if they're decent, right? That the first impression, that's what the Three of Pentacles, right? That the first impression is important, but it shouldn't play so much of an important role to the point where it blinds you from everything else that the person did and has done and has said, right? And the Chariot now represents, so there's definitely more of a need to really be wise and to be mindful of how it is that you actually exist while you're in a relationship. So there's definitely something for you, Capricorns, where you understand now that it's definitely time for you to be way more observant, right? Ask them questions. Maybe the two of you do start going out a little bit, but still kind of see how they are, as well as things definitely, like I said before, you need to be romantically physical with the person. Otherwise, it's a friendship. I don't know, I don't know where people think that if you're not ready to do that, do not date at all. Because this is a part of it. So the idea of, I'm in a relationship. Have you been physically romantic with the person yet? No, so there's not a relationship. Because that's all a part of it. That's a glorified friendship by definition. Because friends do that. So you ain't romantic. You ain't physically romantic with the person yet? Yeah, that's a dub. You see? So now the thing is that the Three of Pentacles and the Chariot, like I said before, you are getting more of your story straight. How to know when someone, how to look at relationships like stages and like different milestones, and actually ask questions and get to know them, and not so much try to do all of these things and be all of these things, do all of this all at once, all of this helicopter ride, fancy schmancy, go to Ruth Chris immediately, because people try to live out whole relationships in like 2 months, whole lifetimes of relationships. Let's go get married. I've only known you for a month. Let's have little ones. I've only known you for a month. Let's move in together. I've again only known you for a month. And a lot of you Capricorns are learning that patience, even in relationships, is going to be a difficult thing at first, and it can be difficult still to this day, no matter how experienced you are sometimes, but it is something that is most definitely needed. The eight of swords and the four of swords now represents, because if you don't, that has some serious consequences to it on your part, where the consequences come back to bite you in the butt, Capricorn, where you end up deliberately overlooking something, or you see something directly in front of your face, but then you overlook it, trying not to be critical of the situation or not to pay attention, but then at the same time you realize how much of a mistake that was. So now the Ace of Cups is about how, since that's the case, you realize that you got to pour into you as well as pour into the other person. But at the same time, the Ten of Swords represents there's still some level of hesitancy to that. Because a lot of you may think that you don't want to pour into somebody, and then it ends up being someone that turns out to be not who you thought they were. Once again, you Capricorns are thinking too deeply about what if it turns out to not be the person that you thought. If it turns out that this is the reason why it is that we take our time. We don't take so much time. We don't take so much time to the point where the relationship doesn't go anywhere, but we take enough time to be able to actually understand them, right? And this is what I mean when I say milestones. Like for instance, right? Give you an example, a real life example. Like how I date is, right? Go up to somebody, right? And I let them know, hey, listen, what's your name? Very attractive. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my number with you. I want to get to know you a little bit better. Because I don't take the person's number down, because the way that I perceive it is, now I don't want this person to make up an excuse to why it is that they don't want to hang out with me or even give me a chance. And now they think, great, now I got this stalker that has my number, because a person's phone number is their personal information. So now they have my number. So if they're not interested, or if they tell me no, it is what it is. I ain't tripping off of it. But if they take my phone number, now the ball is in their court. If they want to call, then that means that they're somewhat interested, because I don't have their phone number. So the only way that we're going to talk, usually, more than likely, you got to be interested. I'm not saying that it's 100% foolproof, but more than likely you're interested, because you have my number and you call me and I don't have yours. So talking about the person in question. So when they call me, I go, hey, listen, why don't we hang out? Now that's one thing that's done, right? Gets it, why don't we hang out? Now let's see, the next stage after that is to see if they actually even show up, because you got a lot of people who ghost, a lot of people who think they too fancy and their time can be used somewhere else or whatever, or whatnot, or whatever the case may be, or whatnot, and they decide to flake because they can't go through with it, right? So let's see if the person is even brave enough to actually show up. Then that's another stage, and then after that, like these are milestones, because these are choke points that people don't even get to. Most people don't even give you a chance past introducing yourself, because so many people want to play that I'm so fancy and on point, and I'm so on, divine, and all this other type of nonsense. Let's take these things in bites instead of trying to live the whole relationship down. Let's move in. This is why it is that I clown that ideology, because, I'm facetious to it to a certain extent, right? Because it's like a year is 12 months. So the King of Swords represents, you have to think about these things, right? You'll have people who will get to know each other, and a lot of people do that. The majority of people who date, or who used to date, did that. You getting to know the person, y'all don't know each other. My gosh, you've only known the person 2-3 months, you already moved in. It's like, what are you doing? A year is 12 months. Chill out. And then some of you Capricorns may be like, well, why do you say that so much? to give you perspective on how short of a time period that is. A year is 12 months. You understand what I'm saying? So when you talk about dating someone and getting to know somebody, that's a whole lifetime. Moving in with the person, I mean, my gosh, seriously. So let's clarify the King of Swords. The Knight of Cups, the World, the Page of Pentacles, and then you have the Two of Wands. Yeah, there's a lot that it is that you have to think about and that you have to make the correct decisions. But you Capricorns are not going to make the correct decisions being so worried about if the person would be worth the investment or whatnot, because you're doing too much. You're thinking way too far ahead. You need to take these instances with these people in small bites, and then those bites end up compounding and adding up. The Two of Wands represents, so now it's up to you Capricorns to understand, to start applying this and to see where it takes you now. All you need to do is actually start using it in real life. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Listen, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. We got less than 100 subs left. We're right here. Smash the subscribe button, smash that like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.